Hi. Right now we presented Dr. Zaihar Yahya. Let me just introduce him a little bit. He is from Malaysia and he is studying in the University Teknologi Petronas and is in the electronic department and a researcher in Malaysia. His major research is solid-state physics, microelectronic devices, power electronics, and in this topic he also published the 50 papers in proceedings in different conferences, journals. And then right now he is working on the project related to the renewable energy and Petronas interest. And also his study includes the RA integration, which includes electrolysis fuel cell technology, and external PJ examiners, advisors, consultants, and several industries dealing with the LED technology, RE, PCB, converter, inverter, design, and RF energy harvesters. Okay, Dr. Noor, have a good presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zaihar. I'm from Malaysia. Basically, I'm a Petronas staff. I assume that you know Petronas in the country. They are a big oil company, and they are putting up one university to tackle all the issues encountered by the nation. And one of the problems that we are going to have Petronas is about helping to reduce the spending that the people of the national have to spend due to high rise in electrical tariff at this moment. So one way is to develop part of the renewable energy. I have been working on the renewable energy for like 5-6 years already, and this is just one little portion of the work that we have already managed. It is about, I'm not going to talk more in detail on the technical and stuff. It's just good enough to share what we do and what basically the outcome that we have already produced. And this work has been funded by the Malaysian government, and they have already been patented and also been used by some of the residential or the small part of the rural area in Borneo state. Okay, so basically, if you know about renewable energy, for example, one of them is solar. You know, the solar, it could be wind turbine, it could be fuel cell, it could be from some other renewable energy. RF is also radio frequency, working on the COM, that's part of the renewable energy. But these basically values, they are very, very small in terms of radio frequency. In milliwatts or microwatts, some could be captured as a renewable energy as from solar, for example. Solar could come as a high DC volt, like 6, 12, 16 volt. It could be coming from the wind turbine. But the most importantly, these are the signals that is coming as renewable energy. They are not DC. Some are DC, some as AC. And this DC and AC value, they are not coming as one fixed number. AC could be very small AC. If you talk about RF, that could be like, that is not linear. It could be very small in microvolt, for example. And then respectively on their microamps, for example, in terms of their current. And the wind turbine also coming as an AC and as a non-linear kind of signal as the input as well. They are on AC. But as the solar, they could come as a DC. But the values are not linear as well, depending on the time that you are actually harvesting the energy from. If they are taking the energy during a very high radiation, the voltage DC could go up to 15 or 16. If it is under shaded value, it could be very small. So basically, what we did is that currently, if you go into market, if you want to buy a solar cell set, they come as one unit. Well, a set of solar cell, you have say one charge controller, one battery, and so forth. If you want to go by apply the wind turbine, they come as one set as well. If you want to apply say fuel cell, they are coming as one different individual set. So basically, if you want to apply these 3 sets, you have to buy all 3 of them. So meaning that if one set, using this specific size of dimension of space, you need to have 3 of them. So one way is to reduce the space and size. We were combining, we still are using these 3, but basically we need to have this one unit or portion of the processing task over here. So that is why we combine all these 3 and we produce some AC at the load. This is what we call the integration of multiple renewable energy. So the size will be much smaller, and it is very portable. You can just take the device with you if you go to any place that you can apply, say this solar energy, for example. Just make it quick, So a conventional system, as you say, more cost, more loss. So once you combine, you can reduce the cost. Basically, the size is much smaller, and also you will have much more efficient in the energy conversion. So some of the backgrounds, and we have some issues. Issues is basically a complex, more inverters. Inverters is something that you need to convert to AC, and high cost, and the control system, it is about complicated. It's more on the electrical side. So we need to develop this. We have the issue raised by the authority, how to make these things smaller and easy, and how to integrate them by using 3 inputs, for example. So we have this energy from the renewable, and we try to develop in order to process the 3 inputs together to come up with one single output at the node. So all 3 inputs combined go to the inverter and get the signal. Basically, that's the idea. So some of the novelty that we use currently, that we have only 2 signals that have been combined, not more than 2. We have over here 3 inputs, and we have another project as well. We develop 5 inputs as well. So this is just a 3 input part. So the idea is just to have a 3 input coming signal and to produce the AC signal at the load. Some of the design parameters that we do, this one is for solar, signal. We use as wind turbine. We have requirement of the output that we produce, and some of the requirement that we have decided whether to use in this work. Alright, so the boost full bridge inverter that we finally considered in this work. Alright, you can ask me questions, but I'm not going to talk about detail or the technical stuff over here. At least that you understand what the project is all about is good enough for me expressing the idea of the work. Alright, the advantages, simple structure. The controller also very simple, and the number of all the components used, features, things are also very little, compared to the individual inverter. And also 3 input sources, having the same level of equivalent converted DC used in this work has been produced. So at the end we need to see how much power that we can produce. In the simulation we work on the multi-sim. This is more on electrical and electronic software. Okay, and the power electronics lab work also been applied. So some of the tools that we use in this work. Okay, and the simulator circuits that we develop. Alright, so we are targeting the output is 240 volts AC 50 Hz as a normal current voltage requirement at the grid. Okay, some of the, it's not that this detail, but the circuit is much more complicated. This is some review on the equivalent circuit that we had. Alright, some of the techniques or requirement of that switching stuff. So over here, we have 3 modes. 3 mode is basically when each of the source is turned on. Second mode is when two of the sources are turned on, and the third mode is when all sources are turned on. So since we have three input sources, we will check on individual signal coming from the input source. The first only one, second two inputs on, one off, and the third one is all inputs are turned on. So we will see on what happened to the output when we have this condition. Okay, so this one is the parameters for the inverter that we use. Okay, we use the center track transformer with that rating in the design. Okay, so I'm not going to discuss further about that. So in terms of controller board and SPWM controller as well, we developed this circuit using the MATLAB and come up with this PCB layout. Okay, alright, for the result, okay, so this on the right hand side is something that we would like to see, having a correct AC sine wave for the AC signal that you use. Okay, that is 240 volts and with some current. Okay, the blue line here is current, the red here is the voltage. So over here, I guess in Pakistan, you are using 240 volts with like 13 amps current. I guess so. Same thing like in Malaysia. So basically, that if we use these three input sources as an example on this slide, it clearly shows that the signal generated at the load is 240 volts with 3 amp AC. So if you tap at the output of the inverter, you can directly use it. Okay, for your electrical appliances for this particular signal that you see. Alright, so some other explanations on the outputs. Okay, so this is when the single input is used. The second one on the right hand side is when two signal inputs are used. Okay, imagine that if you have one input signal as renewable energy is used, so you can get the output to be 55 volts, 5 amps. Alright, this one is DC form without converted to the AC form yet. Okay, so the inverter, for those who know, inverter is that we are taking the signal of DC before it gets to the inverter, then the output is AC. I guess everybody knows about that. So this is the DC form before we get into the inverter. So whenever we have two inputs, the signal has been increased a little bit. That is 5.5 amps, 58 volts DC. Oh, sorry. And whenever we have three inputs, the signal is actually more than that at this time is 60 volts. So this 60 volt looks like a mistake, meaning that whenever you want to have 240 volts, the DC has to be 240 volts before you get into the inverter, so that the output of the inverter of AC has to be 240 volts. All of these will be basically going into another set of circuits, that's the amplification circuit, so that whatever value that we have here is going to be raised, amplified to be 240 volts. That will be another controller that is not used in this, it's not shown in the slide. So at the end, this current here will be 13 amp. And this voltage DC here will be 240 volts. So when these two values getting into the inverter, you will get your AC to be 240 and 30 amps. Okay? It makes sense? So don't get yourself confused of this number. This number will be later amplified to the right value using another controller and to get whatever signal and the load as preferred to be used by your appliances. Okay, so a little bit of the conclusion. So it is okay. Alright, so I would like some questions if you want to know about that, and some prototype that we use. Okay, over here is actually we have 3 inputs. Okay, this is the 3 inputs. So input 1, input 2, input 3. Okay, this is the output side. Okay, so you have the Malaysian are using this type of socket. So you just plug in, and we tested it within using the generic DC power supply, because we are bringing this to the lab. And this is the prototype, and this is the oscilloscope that we work on. Okay, so basically that, imagine that we have the 3 inputs coming in. We can just have this as either 1 turn on, or 2 turn on, or all 3 signals are turned on, and we can check the output at the oscilloscope. And also we can test at the load here, whether you can turn on your fan or lamp or anything. Alright? So this is the product. Okay. So we all of these are in the lab. So during the testing, we brought all these outside, and wind turbine, and we have this solar, and then we have this the hydrogen fuel cell, where we use the hydrogen tank to test and to get into the fuel cell. Oh, these components are already ready made. We are not designing this. We are actually designing the circuits so that we can use all the 3 as one package. Okay? So we are not developing this. We are ready made. We just bought them from the shelf. Okay, this is the controller that we developed. We put that on PCB, and then we have the 3 inputs, and this is the inverter that we have. So this is just one portion of the items or product that we have in the lab. Okay, and some of the some pictures that we have. Okay, under testing and also presented to the government. And they are very happy. In fact, they asked us to do more than this. I don't know whether we can do that. It depends on the budget anyway. And this one has been filed under Malaysia Patent Agency. It is under UI. UI is the, I don't know, industry application or something like that. Okay, so I'm almost over. So before I end, I would like to ask permission from Chair. Because next year we're going to have one conference in Kuala Lumpur. Alright, I would like to share. This will be at Petronas KLCC, August 13 and 14. So you can just go through and you can see if you want to come to Malaysia in KL and present your work. That's it for today. Thank you for the time by listening to my presentation.
Okay. Thank you very much, Zaihar Yahya. It was very impressive discussion here. I was very impressed.